Morning, how are you? Or good evening, you off to bed? Well, yes, let me get going. At least don't zip off now. We've just got started. How dare you? If you're getting up, have a lovely day. If you're going to bed, I hope you've had a lovely day. We'll have a wave either way just to make sure you've had your bit of exercise for the day. Now, as many people know here on the show, I get very angry with these particular stories. And I wanted to share this with you because as we all know, particularly over here in the United Kingdom, Strictly Come Dancing, or Dancing with the Stars that it may be called in your part of the world, has had a bit of an onslaught ever since, as we pointed out, an ex-dancer contestant on the show decided she didn't like it and then decided to reveal her story, her truth, of course, across the nation. So this year's contestants are, one might suggest, on very gingerly grounds, you know. The BBC are very concerned about any negativity coming out. The other day there was even stories from runners that had worked on the show. These are very young assistants, and one of them said, "Oh, somebody shouted at me." Oh, buckle up, sister. This is the world of show business. It's not easy and it's not for sissies, trust me, as Bette Davis said. It's a difficult business, and if you want to get on, you have to get used to people being difficult and unkind because it's full of egos. Now, the reason why I mention this particular story, because it just sort of makes me laugh. As I pointed out to you before, there is a certain sector of show business that clearly go into it wanting to be famous but go down another route. Over here, for instance, we have a guy, Rob Rinder, who's now a presenter on TV, writes novels, but apparently started out as a barrister. Got his own TV show, Judge Rinder, which he doesn't now want to talk about, and was furious when he was billed in Panto a few years ago as Judge Rinder because, well, he's moved on. He's a television presenter now. But without that routine and without that television show, he would never have made it. It's like all the TV doctors, like this one, Dr. Poonam. Yes, Dr. Poonam Christian. She's just signed up, that's right, for this year's Strictly Come Dancing, but billed as an NHS GP. Now, if you can't get an appointment, I'm presuming you need to glide along the dance floor, perhaps show her your symptoms as she's cha-cha-cha or doing the samba, and you might get a diagnosis, do you understand? I'm jesting, of course, but why on earth, or why is this person still allowed to be in that profession and going under that particular banner as an NHS, GP? All the while she's popping up on BBC Scotland, she was on the Morning Live thing offering medical advice. Wouldn't her training, which one presumes came from public funding, wouldn't that be better suited to actually dealing with patients? Because if you don't want to do the job anymore, move over, give the space to someone else. But clearly, you just want to be famous. Now, not knocking that, I understand if that's her goal. But it's interesting to note, isn't it, that the average sort of salary for a contestant on Strictly is anywhere between £45,000 and £60,000 per contestant, depending on how long you stay in the full series. You know, if you get out on week one, you don't get all the money, clearly. But what's interesting again is here, one might suggest that given the fact that she's trading on those NHS credentials, would she be donating that perhaps to one of those charitable organisations? Who knows? But either way, do you, like me, get a little bit fed up of cheering on people that are doing something else when they should be actually doing the job that they allegedly trained for, or remove the title of doctor and NHS out the press release, out the equation, and then clearly you can just be a contestant. Nothing wrong with that. But as we've seen and I've pointed out, you've got all of these GPs busy putting out children's books, voicing over television channels, appearing in Panto, all using their NHS credentials and Dr. Monica. It's enough to make you ill. Do you not agree? Neil Sean in the very heart of London.